Morning everyone, Tuesday 14th of March 2017, continuing the story with this vintage EY50-CS. I've whizzed the clamps off today and the blocks and everything. The idea was to get it clamped up, get it all blocked and clamped up, to get that belly bulge out of here because it was bulging a bit and bringing the bridge forward. Well, we've got quite a bit of a belly bulge out. It's not perfectly flat, but it's flatter. Now the only thing is, this bridge is still bending a little bit forward and it's more or less flat, so maybe it's supposed to be a slightly bit like that. So what I'm going to do is, next job is, we're going to remove some wood from the top of this to make it a little bit lower, and then I'm also going to remove some, the bottom of the saddle. I'm going to shave a couple of millimetres off the bottom of the saddle. That's going to drop the action by at least 2 or 3 millimetres. Other problems concerning this guitar is this area here, where the body was coming away. What I've done is I've steamed it this morning and it seems to have glued. It seems to have gone back into where it's supposed to be. But obviously we're melting this with a hot iron and a wet cloth. As soon as we took out the body there, it's damaged the edging a little bit. It's got a little bit warped. We're not bothered about that. It's purely cosmetic, but it seems to have stuck, which is the main thing. And what else I've got to do with this guitar is we're going to fill in these areas where they're well worn. What the idea with this is to get it playable. It's not going to be cosmetically brilliant, and also I'm going to have to glue this bit down here, or get some screws in there so we can fix that and get that affixed to the body there. Look, I'm going to take this out, fill the holes and re-drill. I've got some screws to go in there, unless some of the perfect ones. So that's where I am today with this guitar. The thing is to get it perfectly playable, get the action low, the neck's straight anyway. We're going to get the frets polished up, we'll make it look as nice as we can. And basically that's where we are with it. I think if we can get this level, get some lighter gauge strings on there, some 1048s, I'm going to go and order some in a minute. I think we can get many more years out of this guitar. It's a well made guitar, it looks great. Cosmetically there's going to be a couple of imperfections here and there, but you know, who cares? It's an old guitar, we need it playing right, so we need it set up right, we need the action lower, and we need the neck straight. I can do all that. Cosmetic work is not really my thing. It's stuff like paint work and stuff like that. I can't do it. It's a living room in an house. I don't have a paint shop here, so always my priority is to get your instruments playable. Because if you can't make music, what joy can you bring to the people that love music, you know? So that's what it's all about. So that's where we are with that today. You might have noticed I'm sporting a trendy new look where I've shaved my beard, I've shaved the sides off here, I've gone with a goatee affair. And I've trimmed that a bit. My wife loves it, she thinks it looks a lot better. I actually quite like it. Whether I'm keeping it or not, I don't know. I might go for a full shave yet. I've just done my moustache this morning, made that less bulky. I might whip the lot off because I think I look a lot younger without a beard. My missus wanted me to have a beard last year. You know how girls are, she's 23 years younger than me. Well, anyway, I digress. Back to the guitar. I went off on one there, didn't I? Back to the guitar. A couple of things like get this sorted out, get some wood shaved off the bridge, get these holes filled in, and we can look at getting some strings on it and seeing where we are with the action before we go shaving the bottom off the saddle. Let's see how exactly, you know, where we are on the action, because we don't want to take it too low and have to build back up again. You know, that'd be just stupid, it'd be defeating the object. So that's it. Got to crack on this guitar. I'll be back later with an update. Talk to you soon. Right, back with a mini update on this vintage. I've had various files out, rasps, files, all sorts. Rasp and file, a fine cut file, and I've been modifying the bridge. I'm going to show you that now. Show you where we are with that, because it wasn't level and it needed flattening and it needed some material taking off. So there you go. As you can see, got the guitar all taped up, Scotch 3M tape, low tack tape, and if I just whiz in a little, what I've done is, this was way too high, so I've taken material off the top with the rasp. First and foremost, be careful not to go into the body of the guitar, so I have to go at a bit of an angle, take a lot of material off with that, come this way and come this way. I've smoothed it with a normal file. And then I've gone in with my fine file, which I'm still going to do. This is better because it doesn't have an handle. It means I can just go across like so. Biggest problem about this is holding the guitar steady enough. But it's working. Just to be a little bit more patient at it. I'm just going to remove any of the grooves. These are rosewood, it's a really hard wood. So you have to take your time with it. So that is doing a grand job, as you can see. Now what I'll do is I'll finish this off with some various grits of sandpaper. You'll notice here, got a big pile of rosewood dust. If I just zoom out just to nudge you. That's a lot, that's all rosewood dust there. That's fantastic because I'm going to use that when I come to filling in these grooves here in the neck, in the fretboard, which are all quite deep, getting up to 1 mil deep in places. I'm going to use this to fill. I'm going to drop some of that in, then we're going to drop Superglue over top of it, and it's going to set in. It'll set like, not quite like granite, but really hard, and then we'll file over top of fret. So perfect that gear. So I'm going to finish this off. We've got a little bit, we've got a couple of cuts in there. All I need to do is I'm going to come around here. I'm going to finish off putting the gradient back in there. Not a difficult job, you know, a bit long-winded because rosewood is so hard, but this file is a great file. I mean that, without even sanding that, if I stuck some oil on there now, it would come up brilliant. I'm going to take a little bit more off the top. I'm going to get this dust out of the way, rosewood dust, take a bit more off the top. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to shape this to where I think it ought to be, and get it to the level I think it ought to be at. So, yeah, no point me just prattling on inanely and just talking words. I'm going to crack on with this, and I'll come back when I'm ready to fill the indentations on the fretboard there. I'll see you soon. Good morning. Vintage EY50-CS guitar. Not finished. Been working on it now and again. What I have done is, it's all taped up, masked off, and what I did was I took a lot of material off the top of this bridge, levelled it, sanded it, stained it. I also, the saddle, took some a millimetre or two off the bottom of the saddle there. The reason I took some wood off here is so I can take more off the saddle. Now what I've done is I've strung it up temporarily with a set of old electric strings, just to see where I am with the guitar, and the action is still a little bit too high. So what I'm going to do is, I want to be about 2.5 millimetres here. We're at 3 millimetres so far, so I'm going to take another millimetre off this saddle, which I can easily do. I could take another 2 mil off if I wanted to, because I've lowered this piece of wood. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to gear twist on the neck as well, get the neck straight, and then the action on this guitar is going to be bang on. So really pleased with how it's come out. All I'm going to have to do then is we're going to fill in these 2 holes where this screws into the EQ, and we're going to affix the EQ properly to the guitar, and then it's going to be done. So quite pleased with it. I mean, that action to me is acceptable. It's 3 mil above the 12th fret, which is acceptable for an acoustic guitar, but we're going to get it down to about 2.5, I think, and then it'll be bang on. We're going to get some more years out of the guitar. It still looks fine, it's going to play fine, and you know, the job's going to be a good one. Once I've got the saddle done, we'll remove all of this tape, and that'll be it. I've got some new strings to go on it as well. I've gone with a lighter gauge. What have I done with them? Yeah, over here. Gone with a rotor sound set, Jumbo King, a super light gauge, gauge 9 to 48, which is going to put less stress on the neck itself. It's good because we've got about 60 kilograms of tension pulling against the neck with a set of heavy strings. We're going to probably get down to about 50 kilogram, which is going to stop bending the neck so much. It's going to be less stress on the bridge here, which is going to want to probably warp again in time. But I think this is as good as we're going to get it. So let's get it playable. If you get another year out of it for 50, 60 quid, you're not going to grumble, are you? So that's it. Going to crack on with it. I'll come back later. Right, I don't know if you remember this guitar, you will do when I show it you. Vintage EY50-CS. We're on the final part of this. Now if you remember, I showed you all the deep grooves in the fingerboard there, and I've started filling them in. I'm going to show you how I do that because my wife just come in, she had a look. She said, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was great. "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So I told her, and you see this one here, I've already filled it in, and it's now as smooth as anything. I've got these to do. They're not super deep, but they are grooves, and they're quite deep. We're half a mil deep, and we're on virtually all these frets here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera, and I'm going to show you how I fix them. And it's really quite simple. You just have to be a bit quick. So I'm going to turn the camera on the guitar. I'm going to zoom in just a little. And we're working on this one here in particular, and I'm going to show you how I do it. There's quite a few grooves on this one. This is the deepest one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this deep one now. I'm going to show you how I do that. And what I do is, got some super glue, regular super glue. I've got some rosewood dust. What I'm going to do is I've got some on here from when I had a fret job the other week, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bang some dust in there. Not a great load. And I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is on my deepest groove, on this groove here, that's a deep one. So I've just packed it in there. And that's it. I've got that groove there. I'm going to take some super glue. I'm not even going to use a proper dispenser, I'm going to just bang some super glue on there. And that's it. I'm going to blow on it. I'm going to bang some more dust in there, because if we get too much, I'm just going to file it out. What this is going to do is, it's going to settle in now. Look, I'm going to take some accelerator, super glue accelerator. I'm just going to spray on there. That will now be dry. Oh, it's still a little bit wet. I'm going to just pat that down. A lot of heat in there. You get a lot of heat off super glue. And that's it. That is now dry. See? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go across my razor blade. Bit of tape on. I'm just going to scrape this away. I put the tape on there because it means it gives us a tape's width on the blade. It means we're not going to cut into the wood. So what I'm going to do is, that's it, just go across now and again. That's just scrape glue off, and there you go. Come across with a fine file. And there you go, filled in. I need to fill that just a little bit more. I'm going to carry on doing that, and I'm going to come back when I've got it all filled in. Still a little bit, could go a little bit more in there, but you see these gaps here? We're just going to go in all these gaps, get all that done, and I'll come back and I'll show you how we got on later. With this vintage guitar, as you can see, filled in all the holes, all the grooves. I've just put a little bit of white spirit on there just to clean it up, filed it all down, smoothed it all off. I just need to go across the top of these frets, a bit of wear on that fret, not too worried about that. I'm going to go across the top of these frets with the crowning file, just to make sure there's no super glue left on there. Anything we got spilled over. And all that remains for me to do now is, there's no glue left on there. And that's it. That's all done. We've filled in all these holes. all these deep grooves. The guitar is now going to play brilliant. Let's do a little bit rough there. That's better. And that's it. I'm just going to go across with the file again, just make sure I've got nothing coming up to the frets here. I think they're absolutely fine, looking good. I'm going to get some oil on the fretboard. And that's it. So all in all, that neck is now done. The frets are levelled. We've filled in all these gaps. We're not going to get a string stuck in there. It's marvellous how this works. Really, really pleased with how that's come out. A little bit of wear there. I'm going to have to just going to go across here just to smooth this off a little bit. That's better. Get the crown back in there. There we go. Just a bit of steel wool, just polish it off. We're going to get at least another couple of years out of this guitar, if nothing else. It's had a lot of work. If it had been anyone else's other than Lorraine's guitar, I'd have said, no point mate, no point spending 125, 30, 130 quid on that. I mean, could have done with some frets replacing as well. You might have got up to 150 quid on this. What's the point spending 150 pound on a guitar like this when you're going to get a new one for 250 quid? So that's it. That's as much as I'm going to do now. I'm just going to bang some oil on the fretboard. And then we're going to get the strings back on. We're going to get the EQ fixed. Get some screws in there. And that's really going to be it. So for now, I'm going to carry on with the work. I'm going to get this finished. And I'll come back when we're just about done. Vintage EY50-CS. Beautiful. I've got the EQ back on there. I had to build up some material behind the wood on the body of the guitar because the holes were stripped and were too big. Then I filled in with epoxy to build it up, gone across with Superglue, re-drilled holes for 2 new screws, you see, and we've now got it fixed to the body, all nice and straight. I also tidied up the holes beneath these 2 screws here. What we've done with this guitar is we've removed the belly swell by clamping the guitar up and getting some moisture into the body from the inside by sealing this hole. We've taken a lot of material off the top of this bridge. We've also reduced the height of the saddle by taking about 2-3 off it, thus reducing the action from 1 centimetre at this end to 2 millimetres on the low E on the 12th fret. We've got a low action there. I've tidied up all the and cleaned up the tuners, tightened them up, screwed all them in right. We had a lot of deep gouges up to the 7th fret with wood missing below the strings. I've filled all that in with a mixture of rosewood dust and superglue, sanded it, filed it and sanded it all flat. You can already tell now. So the guitar is basically as good as it was when it was first bought, maybe even better, I don't know. It's solid now. I would say the action's as low as we can get it. It's beautiful. It's not proper tuned in yet, but it sounds nice. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. We're really proud of the work I've done on this. Everything's been tightened, the strap pins have been tightened up. The guitar is now good to go. It's probably had about 6 hours work. For anybody else from outside, I would have priced this job up probably at something like, probably 125 quid. And I said to him, look, you might as well go and get a new guitar because it needs fretwork and everything. It's also had fretwork on this, fret levels and fret level and polish. I'd have said it's going to cost you 125, 150 quid. Wouldn't you be better off going and buying a new guitar? Also, by the way, we've stuck this part of the body down that's coming away as well. I forgot about that. So, but because it was someone from church, I always do a big discount from church. I normally knock 40% off, but this has had 50% knocked off. So this is going to be 60 quid plus a fiver for the strings. I don't think you can save fairer than that. Lovely guitar. I say you're definitely going to get a couple more years out of it and then look at upgrading later on. I've gone with a lighter set of strings, lighter gauge, so there's less pull on this bridge and less pull on the neck. because string tension is going to be about 60 kilograms. So while we're going with a lighter string, we're probably going down to about 50. It's going to stop the guitar, the bridge, pulling up again. So I would recommend 947 strings, which it's got on at the moment. But that's it. That's the guitar done. It's been a fun project. Very, very nice guitar. And I would say play it, enjoy it, use it, and you get a good couple of years out of it. So for now, that is it. And until the next project, good to each other, and I'll talk to you soon.